After reading Singer and Wells' Ectogenesis and Maureen Sanders Staunt's of Machine Born, I was introduced to new information concerning ectogenesis, or artificial wombs. Singer and Wells consider the advantages and disadvantages of ectogenesis, including as a possible solution to the abortion debate, a possible liberator of women, and as a possible source of transplant organs. Singer and Wells believe that ectogenesis would do more good than harm for women. This is due to the fact that this could be the solution to the abortion debate, involving the potential mother's autonomy and a UDH's value to facilitate non-terminal abortions. But they thankfully, in my opinion, reject the idea that it would be morally permissible to gestate brainless organ donors due to their belief that this would undermine humanity's valuation of infant life. Maureen Sanders Staunt analyzes ectogenesis from varied feminist perspectives, including liberal feminism, radical feminism, and cultural feminism. Liberal feminism seeks liberty, equality, and autonomy. Although liberal feminists would also see ectogenesis as something that could lead to forced ectogenesis for drug addicts or women that are prisoners, or perhaps becoming so common that women would eventually become pressured to use ectogenesis instead of natural birth, despite their own opinion. Radical feminism would advocate for ectogenesis because the artificial wombs would serve as a technological escape from the natural disadvantages of pregnancy. Cultural feminism ultimately believes that a mother-child relationship and bond is much more important than liberty, autonomy, and equality, as well as an escape from the biological burdens of pregnancy. Sanders Staunt concludes that ectogenesis should only be pursued for therapeutic reasons and never for reasons relying on convenience, because it would do much more harm than good. I do believe that once fully developed, and ectogenesis has the potential to solve the abortion debate. It is definitely a better option for the UDH, as it would not be put to death by the mother's consent, but would instead go on to live a life of its own through the help of an artificial womb. The woman that seeks an abortion and supports a pro-choice perspective would not be able to disagree with her UDH being kept alive, because she wanted to choose what can happen to her own body. And once the UDH is removed, she no longer has authority over it, especially not enough authority to refuse the UDH a second chance at life through the assistance of an artificial womb. Or as Singer and Wells puts it, freedom to choose what is to happen to one's body is something. Freedom to insist on the death of a being that is capable of living outside one's body is another. Pro-life advocates would indeed be satisfied with the continuation of the lives of UDHs with the assistance of an artificial womb, because they seek to end deaths of UDHs, not the end of irresponsibility of the mothers. I believe that as long as abortions become expensive due to the only option being in cooperation of ectogenesis, and that it does not become a means for transplantation of organs, a solid argument could not be made against it. Sanders Staunt stated that the experience of being enveloped in flesh may be a precondition for human affection and intimacy that contributes to a need for human contact. Although there may be unknown chemicals or human contact that are necessary for the child's development, the furthering of these vulnerable UDH's lives should be the first priority. After all, if ectogenesis is not standardized, how could we even have the chance to find out if there are some unknown occurrences that affect the UDH's development? Perhaps if there are not any unknown details necessary for the UDH's adequate growth, we could have been saving vulnerable lives even sooner. Therefore, I believe that America should halt the division between pro-choice and pro-life and embrace pro-ecto.